All right, now we're going to turn our traced contour lines into a 3D object, into a 3D representation. So I'm going to switch to my perspective view. And again, if you're not centered on it, you can always type in ZS to center your view onto your selected object. Make sure that's nice and flat like we intended it to be. And now what you can do is start moving each contour to its respective elevation. Okay, so right now I have everything selected. I'm going to go ahead and deselect my lowest contour and the border, and I'm going to click this little blue arrow, and I'm going to type 1 foot, and I'm going to move everything up 1 foot. Then I'm going to deselect the lowest contour, move everything up again 1 foot, deselect 1 foot, etc., until you have moved each one up their respective 1 foot. So now we have all of our contours at their proper elevations, right? And now we need each one of these contours to create a closed loop. So what we're going to do with this border is we are going to copy it up so that it meets up with every single one of these contours. So if you hold the Alt key and then you click this little blue arrow, then you can copy it up 1 foot, right? And now the next one is selected, so you can just go ahead and do the same thing. Alt, click, enter, Alt, click, enter, okay? And it's putting one at each level. Okay, we'll do that a few more times. Now that we have all of our borders, we are going to run the trim command. We'll select all of our contours, make sure we got everything. All right, you can we should run the join command. Join command, make sure all of our lines are connected. And then I'm going to run the trim command, and then I can select all of these. And now all of our contours are trimmed at where the border hits them. So we can select everything now. Oops, escape to get out of the trim command, select everything, join. So now each slice is a closed curve. Okay, so there's a few different things we can do with this shape now. I'm going to copy it over just so we have a few different instances of it. And again, I'm just holding Alt as I drag this arrow to copy. Now I can select all of these, type extrude curve, and I can go up and I can type in 1 foot, enter. And so that just extruded all of these shapes. I can take each one of these shapes now that I created. Make sure my selection filter is on, and I can cap them. So now I have a solid object for each slice. And this is possibly, the crudest representation of your 3D shape. It's a layer cake of what's going on. And then there's a few other ways that we can do this. You can go ahead and play with Loft. So in order to use the Loft command, we need to select the lines that we want to loft together in order, in the direction that we want them lofted together. Okay, you can just window over them and take your chances. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to hit spacebar, and we need to make sure that each one of these arrows is pointing in the same direction. Okay, I can tell that that one arrow is pointing in the wrong direction. So I'm going to click the arrow to flip its direction. Again, this arrow is pointing the wrong direction. You need to click it, make sure they're all pointing the same direction. It doesn't really matter where this point is. They should be somewhat close to one another. They just need to all be pointing in the same direction. Okay, hit enter, and we can see we got some crazy geometry. That's because I have do not simplify turned on. If I turn on rebuild, it's going to clean this shape up. You can choose how many control points you want it to. More will lead to a cleaner shape. Okay. And you can close the loft. That usually introduces issues. in this particular instance. So straight sections, or you can choose normal sections to kind of have a wavy, a flowing geometry in between. I think straight sections tends to give the cleanest result, albeit quite unnatural. So you can hit OK there, and we do have an open shape. You can just simply cap it, and that will give you another rough estimation, but still closer to real life than the actual layer cake. If we look at that in rendered view. All right, and then there are more ways to do it, but patch would be another good option. So patch is essentially laying almost like draping a cloth over your object and creating a surface from where that cloth is going to intersect with your object. And you can play with the stiffness and UV spans here. More UV spans will give you a more higher density poly surface. Okay, so we'll go ahead and try with that and see how it looks. Whoa, we need to turn our stiffness way down, way up. I'll try it with 1. Yeah, it's still pretty crazy. Patch would probably work better without the borders. I'm gonna go ahead and try 10. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these borders. But at this point, you can experiment and see which one gives you the best results. I'm gonna make sure that all of these are joined again after exploding them. And let's see how patch handles this. You see the vertical lines were giving it a problem. So patch probably gives you your most realistic result as long as you can get it to work properly. Okay, that'll be it for extruding.